Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling. The next in my, what are we doing? This is Grammar Garage this hour. Grammar Garage is the class where we learn grammar in a non-boring, very communicative way. And in that way, you learn it by having an experience of it. Then we'll analyze that experience, whether it's listening or reading or an activity, and we'll use that to work out the form, the meaning, the pronunciation, and then we'll put it into practice. In this case, we'll be talking about the present perfect. We'll look at the third use of the present perfect to talk about experiences. Very good practice for Latin language speakers who don't really have the present perfect, or they have it, but it doesn't have the same meaning in their languages. Very useful class. Let's get an introduction about me. I'm John Eric, your verbal teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on my name anywhere in Verbling, or you click on the link in the Verbling chat window right now, it'll take you here to my profile page, where you can follow me on the left to see notifications of my upcoming classes, or book a class on the right, or a private tutoring session, I should say, or package, and I'll work with you on creating a personalized learning plan to help get you to your goals. If you're interested, please send me a message first so I can make sure that I have time for you in my schedule. Now let's talk a little bit about the class. Here's the material for you in the chat window, and in this lesson we will focus on talking about and giving details of experiences. We're going to start off, the introduction here is going to be something from a magazine. There's a little questionnaire. How independent are you? This questionnaire is going to provide some background information about the connection between the words married and the words house in two different languages. The questionnaire is going to ask about the experiences that you've had. Afterwards, we're going to try to calculate an unmarried person's degree of independence with that of a married person's. That's what the questionnaire is about. And the score has something to do with how old you are and what culture you're from, and we'll talk about that. But in doing so, what we're really going to be doing is looking at how the present perfect works, because you're going to have to be using it constantly to talk about your experiences. Okay? You'll see what I mean in just a minute. So, let me just make sure everyone's mic is working. Welcome back, Frederic, from last hour.
Hello again.
Welcome back, Giancarlo, from last hour.
Hello, John. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. So hopefully we'll have some others joining us. Probably not, because it's already late. But you know what? More English for the two of you, huh? Here we go. How to talk about experiences. Hey, let's start off by talking about what kind of experiences do you think those cool hipsters have had in the picture? Frederic, those are hipsters. Do you know how you know that they're hipsters?
Yeah, I think that's this is a kind of living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What kind of experiences have they had, or are they going to have, based on that picture? What are they going to do?
They are going to leave their house.
Yeah, not just their house.
Their parents.
And not just their house. Everything. Look.
Yeah.
The house. Okay. The car.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen next? What are they going to do next?
I think they absolutely don't know what happened next.
Maybe. They're going to have an adventure.
Yeah, an adventure. They are living day after day.
Oh, they're living day by day.
Day by day, okay.
They're living day by day. Have you ever lived day by day, having an adventure?
No, I never living day by day.
I've never lived day by day.
I never lived day by day.
One more time. I've
never lived day by day.
What about you, Giancarlo? Have you ever lived day by day and had an adventure like our hipsters here?
No, John, I think it's very complicated.
Oh.
Hello, no, I think it's very complicated to live day by day, because You don't have a plan to follow, and of course, for me, it's my life must be planned, must be already planned, in order to feel secure, because otherwise I could feel insecure.
That's true.
Yeah,
Not unsecure, but insecure.
insecure, insecure.
Insecure, right. Well, let me tell you, I've done it. And you get into a lot of trouble. If you don't like trouble, don't do it. Okay, I did this because that's how I came to Europe. I came here on a little vacation 15 years ago, and I forgot to return. But I also lost everything I owned, which was kind of bad because there are some things I wanted to keep. We're going to talk about the experiences you have had in just a second. Let's take a look at our questionnaire. Well, first we got a picture here before we do the questionnaire. How independent are you? Okay, you've got two different situations here. Frederic, if you're going to compare these two pictures, what could you say about them? To compare them, compare or contrast, I should say, compare or contrast.
Okay, on the left, I see for young people. I guess they are living together.
Okay, probably. Why do you guess that? I guess they're living together because
Because they are eating together, and I can't see any parents.
true,
Mhm.
and they're eating badly because they don't know how to cook.
Yeah, they are eating pizza.
Not even good pizza.
Mhm.
Looks like bad pizza and too much. So they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
very good.
on the right, I can see one young man, and I guess he is living with his mother or grandmother, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it seemed that she cooked for him.
Right. Or it's Consuela, and she cooks all of his meals.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to say.
Mhm.
Giancarlo, which one of these pictures best describes, best illustrates you? Which do you relate to?
Well, in this moment, the second one.
The second one.
In the past, the first one. Yeah,
Oh, I see. Someone cooks for you? Wow.
yeah, yeah. Someone cooks
Fantastic.
for me. Well,
Excellent.
yeah. It's good, but sometimes I feel like being independent again because
Mhm.
sometimes it's necessary to be independent. And now I am living this kind of life, and I like it. I like it. I enjoy it.
Uh, as long as someone's cooking for you who knows how to cook, then enjoy it while it lasts.
Enjoy what? Enjoy what?
The
Enjoy what?
expression is enjoy it while it lasts. That's the expression.
Enjoy it while. Yeah, exactly, John. Exactly. Yes, yes, I agree with you. Enjoy it while it lasts, because there is an expression in Mexico, well, in Spanish, that is nada es para siempre, nothing is forever, or nothing lasts forever.
Right, right. Nada es para siempre. Is that it?
Nada es para siempre,
Para
nothing
siempre.
para siempre. Yes,
Nothing lasts forever.
yes,
Nothing lasts forever. Oh,
nothing lasts forever.
it's very existential. The only problem that I see with picture number 2 is that it isn't much of a it's not much of a meal. I would have expected he looks really happy, but he's not having very much. uh,
It's Photoshop.
he's, maybe he's just yeah,
Photoshop.
something like that. Yes, perhaps. It's actually not Photoshop. It's a real photograph. But here we go. what I wanted to do is, before we get to our questionnaire, I want you to talk a bit about your experience. So I'm going to jump forward here. I want you to take a look at exercise 1. It says in small groups, but okay, let's do this as one big group. Complete the sentences and compare your answers, okay? So look at those 5 sentences in exercise 1, and I want you to think about an answer that you would say. There's no right or wrong here, of course. In my country, most people, think about how you would answer that sentence. Leave school at about. There you need to give an age. Leave home at about. Rent or buy their first home at about. Get married at about. Have children at about. Okay? I want to compare answers here. So, what do you think? In France?
In France, most people leave school at about, I'd say 20, 22, maybe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go right down the list. Leave school at 22. Leave home?
Leave home about 25.
25. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Rent or buy their first home at about. Yeah, but if they leave home at 25, they rent or buy their first home at about 25 also.
Mm-hmm. What about buying their home? Do people?
It's very difficult nowadays to buy your home, to buy your
Right.
home. Yeah,
To buy your own home.
your own home. Yeah, it's
Right.
very difficult because it's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very expensive.
So, do people do it?
Some of them do it, but most of them rent a home or a flat or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too expensive to buy until you are maybe 40 or.
Mm-hmm. So most people buy their home in their 40s, you would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gets married at about I say 25 or so.
25. Okay.
Yeah. And I have children. Oh, it's about 30.
About 30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In the States, people leave home at about. It's not about. It's 18. It's pretty universal. Maybe 17. And you do not stay at home after that. It's kind of unusual.
Okay.
So it's almost a law.
Okay.
People cannot understand other countries where people live with their families until they're 40, like here in Portugal. It just doesn't make sense in American culture. People leave home at 18, and your parents will kick you out. They'll tell you to leave, which seems pretty cruel, and in fact it is. But because it's not always that easy to make a living, especially nowadays, especially in the last 10 to 15 years. So a lot of times people are getting kicked out, but the conditions, social conditions, cost of living, it's not the same as it was when their parents were around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in France, my parents can afford their house, but nowadays it's not possible anymore. It's very, very difficult.
What about in Mexico? How would you answer? I only gave one answer for the States, the most important. People leave home at 18. The rest of the answers I think are pretty much the same as what you said, except for the house. I think that buying a house is probably younger in the States, maybe 30, but I'm not sure about that. I think it depends if you're a freelancer or not. If you are, it's likely that you'll buy it later, and it's very possible you'll never buy one. It really depends if you're living an urban lifestyle or not. What about in Mexico, Giancarlo?
In my country, most people leave school at about 20, 21 years old. Leave home at about 25, 27.
right?
Rent or buy the first home at about maybe 30, 40.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Get married at
30 or 40?
30 or 40, yeah. It's
Between 30 and 40.
between 30 and 40.
Okay.
Get married at about 20, 25. Have children at about between 20.
16, 14. No, no, just kidding.
No, no, no. Between 20 and 30, maybe.
So it sounds like in Mexico people do things a little younger than in France.
People, what?
Do things at a slightly younger age than in France, from what you were saying.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes it's a little bit different because now people have changed their minds. I mean, talking about getting married and talking about this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
people have changed their personal point of view because now most of the people here in Mexico don't want to get married soon, or maybe they don't want to get married. They prefer to live alone, and they prefer not to have children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's a worldwide trend, because it seems like marriage is not the same as it used to be. For example, I got married, but I didn't have a ceremony. I just got married at the city hall one day.
John, did you sign a paper, John?
Yes,
Ah, okay.
so it's real.
It is.
Let's find out about Anna's experience. Anna Smith, are you out there?
Oh, hello everyone. It's so nice to be back in your class. Sorry I'm late though.
Anna, take a look at
Well,
those
I
five
can see we're
questions.
talking about
Take a look at
marriage,
those.
about marriage.
Not about marriage, not about marriage, but
No?
about the age when people do things, not about marriage specifically. In fact, what we're really doing is talking about we're using the present perfect, really. But we'll get there in a moment.
Present perfect.
First, I want you to take a look at those five questions and talk about your country. At what age do people tend to do those things? So take a look at the example. In my country, most people leave school at about
Get
what?
it. In my country, most people leave school at about, well, it depends how dumb they are. If they're really dumb, then at 15, and if not so dumb, then at 18. Well, and what we're defining, how we exactly would define school? It's like an elementary or high school or college?
No, school is education, basically, your education.
So college and universities, it is also would be a school.
Yes, maybe grad school is different though. So like, the normal education that people get. That's what we mean by school here.
Well, definitely most people are have a high school education, I guess, and solid part of them also have a university degree, but in most cases it doesn't mean anything because it's like really corrupted and it's just a paper and so.
Okay, that means they didn't actually go to school?
Well, sometimes, but they are paying for their exams or
Oh, okay.
and sometimes the diplomas are just bought. So.
Okay, but what about the rest? I want you to go down the list. So in my country,
Leave home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. In my country, most people leave home at, well, most people here are continue to live with their parents in the same flat with their mother and father and with their babies, and it's really disgusting. And there's only one bathroom
Forever?
for yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's really common.
Most people leave home at about never. Yeah?
At about never, exactly.
Okay, good. What about buy their first home? So never.
There's no such thing here
No
as
such thing.
home. There are flats mostly. So, well, some people who makes lots of money, they're buying their
They
own
buy.
flats.
They buy. Not they're buying. They buy.
Of course, thanks. They buy
Hmm.
their own flats.
Hmm.
Well, in Moscow, in the capital, Russia, it's very popular, and it's really something that distinguishes people from others. And I guess
So
it could
that's it.
happen like at age of 30 or 40 or
Right, but that's not
something.
everyone, right? That's just
Of
in a,
course, that's just the lucky ones.
okay. Most people get married at about how old?
Well, early marriages are popular here, I could
Interesting.
say. Yeah.
So 12? What do you mean by early marriages?
Well, 18.
Oh, 18.
Before that, it's really against the law.
Oh, okay. 18. Jeez, really?
Yeah, it could happen. But if a girl gets pregnant earlier, it could happen earlier. Because if she's pregnant, then the law is it's according to the law then. If
If you
she's
well,
pregnant.
hold on. If a woman or girl gets pregnant, she has to be married according to law? That can't be right.
No. She can do this.
Oh,
Well,
she's able to. Okay.
able. Thanks.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And so speaking of which, in my country, most people have children at about so young as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 20, around 20 years old,
Wow.
it's really common. Yeah, that they just don't think about consequences and don't use, well,
Right, right.
and it's like animals, they just do it, and then there's babies everywhere, and they're like even
Well, that's not like animals. They're not doing it in the park. I mean, come on.
well, yeah, that was a really mean thing to say, but it's really annoying, and most of them think that they did something worthy,
Special. Yeah.
special, yeah, that they
They
did
forgot.
something, they're like bragging about it, and
Right.
they taking their
Forget the
babies
wow.
everywhere, and
Yes, that can be annoying. Look, you have to watch the Louis C.K. comedy routine about children on airplanes to get the meaning. Yes. Well, look, it's very interesting because so we've got 4 different countries, and the ages are actually quite different between our 4 countries, if you notice. So the drastic ones would seem to be the age you leave home in the States, which is almost a law. 18, you're out of the house, and if you're not, there's something wrong with you. It's really a cultural thing. It's probably a lot more relaxed than it used to be, but when I was a kid, it was really, really kind of strict that there was something wrong if you didn't leave your house. On the other hand, the economy was much better at the time, so that could have been part of it. Uh, and it sounds like the youngest age for marriage seems like it's Russia compared to the other cultures, and Europe is kind of in the middle. So interesting. Well, let's talk about your independence now. We're going to go to um, questionnaire first. You're going to calculate your score. Let's see how we're going to do this. First of all, let me make sure I get this. Make sure I get this right. So you're going to read the first paragraph of how independent are you, and decide what the main topic is. There's some vocabulary we might need to clarify. Then you're going to do the test and get a score. If we have time, you're going to listen to someone else's answers to the 7 questions and decide if you are more or less independent than the person you're going to listen to. You saw his picture on the other page. From there, we're going to jump into the present perfect, clarify the form, the meaning, the pronunciation, because you're going to see in this text every example you need of the present perfect to talk about an experience. And that's how we're going to roll. Okay? Frederic, take the first paragraph for us, please.
There was a time when young people didn't leave their family home until they got married. In fact, in some languages, the word married comes from the word house. For example, in Turkish, the word for house is ev, and the word for married is evli, meaning with house. In Spanish, the word for house is casa, and the word for married is casado.
It's funny because it's the same in Portuguese, and I just never thought about that before. You're housed. Casa, casado. Huh. Interesting. I really never thought about that. You see, you learn something new every day. What's the word for married in French?
Marié.
Because we took the word from you. That's why we use it.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the word for house?
Maison.
Think there's a connection?
Yes, maybe.
Maisonnet?
Yeah, maison, mariage, marié,
Could be. Sounds similar. Giancarlo, can you take the second paragraph for us?
Yes. But times have changed. These days, young people often want to marry later. In Europe, getting married at 29 or 30 is normal. So what do they do before that? Do they stay in the family home or do they become independent? Well, the answer is some people are more independent than others. How independent are young people in your country?
Okay, we've talked about that a little bit. So do the test, choose the best answers for yourself, or you don't have to talk about yourself. You can talk about what is normal for a typical young person in your country. Okay? Anna, could you just read through the questions really quickly from 1 to 7, and then we'll just clarify vocabulary if we need to. Okay?
Have you ever lived alone in another town abroad? Have you ever paid for the shopping, an electricity, phone, or gas bill, rent? Have you ever bought a towel, knives, forks, and spoons, a fridge? Have you ever had your own room, your own house keys, your own home? Have you ever turned on the cooker, the heating, the electricity? Have you ever cooked a meal for yourself, for your family, for your guests? Have you ever put a battery in a remote control, soap in a washing machine, a shelf on the wall?
Right. The 8 should be, have you ever changed the diaper? That should be question number 8. Okay. So you could put your answers in the chat window if you like. So just you could write like 1C, 2B, or whatever. Just put and then hit return at the end if you like, and then calculate your score.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the cooker turned on? The cooker, it's like what?
The cooker is the British English word for stove. American English stove, British English cooker. Okay? So take a minute, do the survey, hit return when you've got your answers. I'm going to do it too, and then we're going to compare points. I'm going to do mine right now. Let's see. Have you ever lived alone in another house abroad? Oh, I guess I just have to say yes or no. I thought I was choosing A, B, or C, but actually, so do I have to give 3 yeses? I guess I have to give 3 yeses. You're alone? Yes. In another town? Yes. Abroad? Yes. Okay, so it's going to be 1. Looks like it's going to be 3 points. Okay. Okay, that's 3. Okay, 2 goes 3. I'm on number 2. Everyone, you should be able to where I am or already finished. Let's see, number 3. Have you ever bought a towel? Not sure. I'd like to steal towels from hotels. Have you bought 9 fridges? Yes. Fridge. So I'll say 2 out of that. It'd be 3. Oh, actually it's 3. 4. Have you ever... Yeah. Yep. No. Oh, that's 2. Okay, number 5. That would be 3. Okay, number 6. How many yeses for each, Giancarlo? Because there's A, B, and C for each. I'll show you mine in just a second. You'll see what I mean. Okay, for number 7, have you ever put... Yep, okay, it's 3. There's mine. Okay, we're just waiting for Anna. So, Giancarlo, how many yeses for each? Because you say yes. Do you mean yes for all 3?
Okay, have you ever lived alone? What to do? 1,
Because you
A,
got...
yes.
Yeah, you got A, B,
Like
and
that?
C.
Like that?
Is it 3 yeses, or is it 2 yeses, or is it 1 yes for number 1?
Number 1, 1 yes.
1 yes. Okay, yeah. So you have to write. You could do it like Frederic did, or you could do it like I did. I put number 1, 3, meaning 3 yeses, or however you want to do it.
1A. Okay, let me do it.
All right. So Frederic, I want you to start to tally up your score. See what the total number is. Looks like it's going to be 1, 2, 3,
24.
4, 5, 6. 4 6s are 24, plus 1 is 25. Should be 25, right? Oh no, wait, 3 6s are 18, 19.
No,
It's 19.
19.
19, right. So you're 19. Fred equals 19. Okay. I am, let's see, 3 times 7 is 21. One of them was less, so it's 20. Generic equals 20. Okay, we need a score for Giancarlo and for Anna now. Okay, Giancarlo, you look like you're the same as Frederic, so you look like you're 19. So 3 times 6 is 18, 19. Okay, so JC is 19. Okay, Anna, what about you? Anna is, so you put just the yeses, is that right?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
I was
1,
really
2,
slow.
3, 4. Let's see. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Anna is 12. Right? I think I got it. Okay. So I counted 12 yeses for you, Anna. Right? 12 yeses.
Right.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So what you got to do there is count your yeses. Each yes is 1 point. But look at the ages there. If you are under 18, you have to add 10 points. If you're between 18 and 22, you have to add 5 points. If you're over 22, don't add any points. Okay? So, my final score is 20. Okay? That's my final score because I'm over 22. Frederic, your final score is 19, right?
19, yes.
Okay. Giancarlo, I don't know how old you are. What's your final score?
Okay, I'm over 22.
Over 22, so your final score is, what, 19?
Yes.
Right, 19, okay. JC equals 19. Anna, does gender count? Apparently not.
Well, it's not fair because it's other thing if you live with your spouse or with your parents. It's two different things. If you're with your spouse, then you're like independent, and it doesn't matter if you're paying for your rent or whatever.
Well, Do you mean that? So what? I don't understand. What difference would it make if you're male or female and you're married? What difference would it make? You're both paying, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Do you
Well,
do you
sorry.
think this has a sexist bias? Do you think this questionnaire is sexist?
No, it's not, and that's what
It
is.
should be.
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Because it made me look uh like I'm an independent person, and I'm not.
Are you over 22?
Uh-huh.
You're
And
over
I live
22.
and I live with my spouse, and he does all the things, but it
So,
doesn't make me less independent.
yes, it does. Yes, it
Oh,
does. You are the least dependent. You are the least independent, Anna. And now,
alrighty then.
sorry to say, unless you compensate in some other way, I don't know. Maybe there's something we should have to add into the questionnaire. I don't know.
Probably we should. Yeah, you're right. Well, I think
Have
I
you
can
ever
live.
changed, Anna? Have you ever changed a diaper?
No, I don't have any kids.
Okay. Well, I didn't say their diapers. Maybe someone else's diaper. I don't
Okay,
know.
no,
No?
no,
Okay.
no diapers.
Either have I. Because if you had, then I'd give you an extra 30 points just for doing it. Okay. So listen, what do you think about your score? So do you think it's a fair score? Mine, I think, is pretty accurate. What do we think about our scores? So I think Anna probably disagrees with her score. Frederic, Giancarlo, do you agree? Do you think it matches the scale pretty well? Think it's accurate?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I think, and I hope, because I'm in my 40s, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, obviously, I hope I'm dependent.
Mm-hmm. But you're not very independent. You and me, we're almost at the same score. We're almost the same. We're probably the same age, and we're not in the very dependent list, which is interesting because we're still under 30 in the scale.
Yeah, but just because I
'Cause-
never lived alone. I have never lived alone.
Mhm.
Because when I lived when I lived my parents,
When I left,
when I left my parents, it was to go with my wife, my future wife,
Mhm.
So yes, I have never been alone, but
Mhm.
I was independent
Mhm.
when.
Yeah, but you probably relied on her in some way. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Even if it's just emotionally, you in some way you were not 100% independent in some way. Plus, maybe she did some things while you were doing other things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but it's not because you have not been alone.
Hmm.
Uh,
I don't know. I
that,
disagree.
that doesn't mean you are not dependent.
I disagree though because I lived alone when I shouldn't have lived alone when I was very young, and I did everything wrong because I was alone because I didn't have anyone
Ah,
to
okay.
you know what I'm saying? I made a lot of mistakes.
Yes. I agree. I agree. Yes.
If I was like you and I
Yeah.
had left home and got married, like left home for that reason, I probably
Mhm.
would have a much better life because I
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
done less stupid things. I think
Yeah,
Anna
yeah,
maybe
yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's good to have someone to rely on, and maybe
exactly,
someone that say, no, you don't have to do this.
yeah,
You should do this, or yeah.
someone who calls you a moron and idiot constantly, so you realize you're doing stupid things, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Anna, we've just figured out the missing score. You see, we've just figured out how to fix our score. So Anna will give you an extra 10 points
Hmm.
because if nothing else, right, you're there to make sure your husband doesn't do stupid things.
Yeah.
Okay, we figured it out. We figured it out. Okay, when you talk about your experience with this questionnaire, notice how you've got to say, not I never lived alone, but I've never lived alone, right? Because you're talking about your experience from the past until now, which is the present perfect, which I want to focus on right now, because in this text you have other examples, probably all the examples you need, particularly in the questions. Okay? I want you to listen to this guy, Caleb. Listen to his answers for a moment, and then we're going to work on the present perfect specifically. We're just going to look at one particular aspect of the present perfect, actually, which is how we use certain adverbs with it. So there's Caleb at the bottom. I want you to listen to... let's not listen. Let's actually read it because it's a bit long. Okay? So I'm going to jump forward here. If you're able, this is an interview. Okay? So I think we're going to read it, and we're going to just compare how independent we are with Caleb's answers. Okay? So let's see. Giancarlo, why don't you take the part of Caleb here and be person B? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anna, why don't you read the questions? You be person A. You're the interviewer. Okay, Anna?
Okay. Where?
Okay.
Oh, so.
And
Uh-huh.
see where we are? We're on slide 5 right now.
Uh-huh.
At the end, we're going to compare our answers with his answers and then focus on the form. Okay? So take it away, Anna.
Okay, Column. So first I need to know how old are you? Are you under 18, between 18 and 22, or over 22?
Hey, I'm 24.
Alright, so over 22 then. Okay, first question. Have you ever lived alone?
No, I haven't.
And have you ever lived in another town or country?
No, I haven't.
No, okay. And have you ever paid for the shopping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about the electricity, gas, or telephone bill?
No, I haven't paid that.
And rent. Have you ever paid rent?
No.
Okay. And have you ever bought any of these things? A towel, knives, forks, and spoons, or a fridge?
Well, I bought a towel, but not the other things.
A towel. Okay. Have you ever had your own room
Yes.
and your own house keys
Yeah.
and your own home?
My own home? No, I haven't.
Have you ever turned on the cooker?
Yeah, sure.
And what about the heating or and electricity?
Yes, I've turned those on.
Have you ever cooked a meal for yourself
Yes, I have.
and for your family
Yes.
and for your guests?
Let's see. No, I don't think so.
Right. Have you ever put a battery in the TV remote control?
Yeah, sure.
And have you ever put soap in the washing machine?
Yeah.
And last question. Have you ever put a shelf on the wall?
Oh, no, I haven't done that. No.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Colum.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
So,
no, yes, no, yes, no.
well,
Okay, good.
specifically, yes, I have, no, I haven't. Yes, I have, no, I haven't. Specifically, those
Yeah,
answers.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Is he more or less independent than you, Giancarlo?
Well, I need to make a correction. I need to correct number one because I've lived alone and
Mhm.
I've lived in another town. So I think I consider this guy is less
I
independent
I
than
would
me.
say,
I would say this guy is less independent than me.
Okay, because you have lived alone, for example.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Okay. And Frederic, what would you say? Is he more or less independent than you?
I think he's less independent.
Because
Yeah.
he hasn't what?
He hasn't his own home.
He hasn't what? He hasn't.
He hasn't his own home.
Can't say it like that. Try again. He
He
hasn't what?
hasn't.
You need the verb. He hasn't. What's the verb? What's the action? He hasn't.
He hasn't.
Hasn't. He hasn't ever.
He hasn't had.
Hasn't ever had his
He
own
hasn't
home.
ever had his own home. Yeah.
He hasn't ever had his own home. So when you say the verb to have, it's got to be said twice. Hasn't ever had. Not just hasn't.
Okay.
That would be the past simple. It doesn't work in this case. Because the past simple should really be he didn't ever have. If you're going to use the past simple. But in fact, it's not the right verb tense either. Okay?
Okay.
Anna, is he more or less independent than you?
Well, sounds like a pretty independent guy, I guess. More than me.
More than me. Because you haven't what? Compare. You haven't ever what?
I haven't ever paid my bills and gas. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, he haven't either.
He
He
hasn't.
hasn't. Yeah, I knew that.
He hasn't
Thanks.
either. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the main goal here is talking about your experience with the present perfect. And let's take a quick look at that. Look at these two pictures. One of these is the guy saying, the guy or girl, there's two different pictures. One of these is a person saying, have you broken your arm? In the other one, it's have you ever broken your arm? Which one is have you ever broken your arm? A or B?
Hey.
A.
A.
Why?
Because his arm is not broken.
Because his arm is not broken. That means we're talking about a past that is invisible to us now. We don't know when it happens, right? But it's ever, meaning at some point in the past. And B, have you broken your arm, is a redundant question. Obviously, he broke his arm. Look at it. It's more like a way to start a conversation. Have you broken your arm? I can't believe it. Okay. Look at number 7. Have you ever questions? Write have you ever questions. Don't write them. Say them. Number 1, sleep boat. Have you ever slept on a boat? Anna, number 2.
Have you ever stole hotel towel?
Nope. Try again. Past participle.
Have
Steal, stole.
stolen.
Good. Have
Have
you
you
ever
ever
stolen a towel?
stolen hotel towel?
The question should be, have you ever not stolen a hotel towel? Everyone steals hotel towels, right?
No, I didn't. I
Oh.
haven't. I haven't.
I have. Frederic, number 3.
Have you ever lose your house keys?
Have you ever...
Lost?
Try again. Lost.
Lost your house key?
Very good. Giancarlo, number 4.
4. Have you ever paid a bill or a credit card?
Good. Have you ever paid? Back to Anna for number 5.
Have you ever bought something on internet? Have you ever seen the rain?
Have you ever bought something on the internet? You got to use the here, Anna.
Yeah, I should have add this, right? Have you ever bought something on the internet?
Right. We need a the because there's only one internet. So there's a the. Okay. Notice also the answers that we give. Here it asks us to ask questions to a partner, answer your partner's questions, use expressions from the box below. If it's positive, I have. I have once, I have twice, I have a few times, I have a lot of times. I haven't, I haven't, or simply no, never. Yes, once, yes, twice, yes, I have once, yes, I have twice. No, I haven't. No, I haven't ever. It's not written there, but you could say no, I haven't ever. Or you could just say no, never, which is weird because you shouldn't be able to say no, never, but in fact you can. It looks like a double negative, but it's not. No is one sentence. I have never is another sentence. So it's not a double negative. Looks like it, but it's not. I want you to ask a question to a partner based on the questions we just formed. I'll give you an example. Frederic, have you ever slept on a boat?
No, never.
No, never. Oh, I have. It was great. It was great, although you wake up and when you get back on land, you still feel like you're moving for a couple of days. So that's kind of weird. Frederic, ask a question to Giancarlo. Perhaps one that you created before.
Giancarlo, have you ever been in France?
Have you ever been
No, I haven't.
One more time.
Have you ever been to France?
No, I haven't.
Thought he was going to say something else.
Oh, too bad.
Too bad. Too bad for you. Okay, very good. Giancarlo, you're going to ask a question to Anna. Could be a question you used before, or it could be a new one.
Anna, have you ever learned Spanish?
No, never.
No, never. Too bad for you. Anna, you're going to ask me a question. Could be one you created before, or a new one using the present perfect.
Have you ever washed the dishes?
Have I ever washed the dishes? Really? Of course.
Good for you.
That seems like a strange question. Everyone's washed the dishes. Have you ever washed the dishes, Anna?
Yes, I have, but I can't say the same about my spouse, so that's why I asked.
Oh, okay. That's because you let him get away with it. Gotta stop. Okay. I want you to take a look here. This is a summary of what we've been doing so far. In the grammar box, you can see I've broken my arm once before. It's at the little asterisk on the timeline happens at a time that is not specified. We call that the indefinite past. Okay? On the timeline here, you see before now, an unfinished period of time. I've broken my arm once before now. I prefer to call that an indefinite past. You don't say when it happened, or you don't know when it happened. Either way. And you'll notice that there's an unfinished time between that indefinite past and now, which can be expressed as before now, this week, in my life, right? You're talking, it's basically like saying until the present. Have you heard from her today? It's an unfinished period of time because today hasn't ended. It goes up to the present. But the simple past is a definite period of time, like last summer. It's specific, it's defined. Yesterday, last week in 2001 when I was 5. Okay? So that's a quick summary of what we've done. I've broken my arm. Do we know when in that sentence? So this is just look at the chart and double check that you understand the meaning. Giancarlo, I've broken my arm. Do we know when? Yes or no?
I've broken. No.
No, we don't. So it's the present perfect because we don't know when it happened. Frederic, I broke my arm last summer. Do we know when?
Yes, yeah, last summer.
So it's a simple past. I broke. I've had coffee today. Is today finished, Anna?
Yes, it is. You already had your coffee, right?
Doesn't say that. Look again. Look at number 3.
No, it's not finished.
I've had coffee today. Is today finished? It's not finished. I could still have more.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Because the present is, it's 2 p.m. here in Portugal. The day is not over. For example, okay? I had a coffee yesterday. Is yesterday finished, Anna?
Sure, yesterday is yesterday. It is
Of
finished.
course. For unfinished times, what tense do we use, class?
Present perfect.
Present perfect. Okay. Notice how ever and never are also used. I have never or I haven't ever. Those are the two ways we saw it used. We've actually got to stop here, but look, you've got exercises to get a little bit more practice on slides 9. 10 is just an overview. 11, you have to add in the missing words, never and ever. Okay. In 12, you've got a few examples, which is just kind of a review of the chart, but comparing the two tenses. And here, you've got to tick whether it's correct, or you've got to correct it if it's wrong. So you could try those on your own. And this is something we have to do in class. We can't do it now. You can try those from slides 9 to 13 on your own to get a little bit of extra practice. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to go over the answers with you. Send me a message, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay? So think about those. And if there's any questions, send me a message. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we've got maybe one more lesson on the present perfect. I think there's 4, but I have to double check. So you'll see that next week if we do. Okay, so until now, we've used the present perfect to talk about indefinite times, to talk about things that have happened recently, to talk about experiences, 3 different ways to use it. And I believe there's going to be one more. Maybe we'll do kind of a class where we put all of them together into one big bundle and have you practice them. Okay? So we're going to stop now. I'll be back tomorrow from 12 to 2 for learning from pictures and also language games. And language games are going to try to revisit some of the things we've done this week, particularly our Tuesday and Thursday class, the vocabulary classes. And we'll play a little game of Word Sneak. So be there tomorrow at 1 GMT for that, or 12 for learning from pictures. Have a great day, everyone. See you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, John.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
See you.